So somewhere in between taking the kids to soccer practice and weekly Costco runs to pick up another pack of Kirkland socks and that really unhealthy yet affordable pizza, Lexus RX buyers felt they needed some more power. Well, Lexus responded by taking away the V6 completely from the RX and going all in on 4 cylinders. And somewhere in between, they managed to make the most powerful and quickest RX yet. My name is Omar, and this is the 2023 Lexus RX 500h F-Sport Performance all-wheel drive. Wow. By the way, I just realized how long that name is. Lexus RX 500h F-Sport Performance all-wheel drive. I mean, can't we just call this the Lexus RX 500 F-Sport? I mean, I get it. Lexus wants you to know that this is still a hybrid and it's got performance, and on top of that, it has all-wheel drive. Now, I've already done a thorough review of the new RX. I was at the Media Drive event about 3 months ago, and I drove each trim for about 30 to 40 minutes each. So if you want a deeper dive into the new RX and check out everything there is to know about it and all the trims, definitely check out that video. However, I wanted to spend some more time with the fastest RX ever, so I hit up Lexus and they hooked me up for a week with the 500h F Performance all-wheel drive, F-Sport Performance all-wheel drive. That said, instead of a full deep dive into the new RX, I'm just going to take this 500h for a drive and focus on what you get with it. Now, first up, this isn't a competitor to the BMW X5 M50i or the GLE 53. This is more of a competitor to the Acura MDX Type S, and I feel like Japanese automakers don't want to go down the high performance road with their SUVs. And I'm not sure why, because I mean, this is the brand that gave us the amazing Lexus ISF and the GSF, both of which had an outstanding 5-liter V8, not to mention the legendary Lexus LFA with that amazing V10. Well, now Lexus's F department gives us a turbocharged 4-cylinder, and take it easy before you freak out, they've gotten a little bit clever with it. And not to mention, this makes 10 more horsepower than the Acura MDX, which is powered by a turbocharged V6. So what you have here is a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine that gets some assistance from 2 electric motors, and working all together they make a total of 366 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. Now, since you have 2 electric motors, one in the front and a more powerful one in the back, you have all-wheel drive, or what Lexus calls Direct 4. By the way, the only other Lexus that has Direct 4 is the all-electric RZ450e. That means the all-wheel drive part of this is just computers talking to each other. So depending on the driving situation, the Direct 4 system will distribute torque instantly without you even realizing any of that happening. Now, with all this power and Direct 4 goodness, the RX 500h will do 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds, which is very similar to the Acura MDX Type S. But it's also quite a bit of a way off from the 4.1 seconds it takes the X5 M50i. Granted, this costs $20,000 less. And I get it, I don't think I've ever met an RX buyer that is extremely enthusiastic about driving dynamics. The reason they buy the RX is because it's reliable and the ride quality is butter smooth. And that still holds true for 2023. Honestly, no matter what you say to me, in my opinion, Lexus has one of the most comfortable rides in the luxury game, and nothing even comes close, and that's why a lot of their buyers rarely go anywhere else. They're more concerned with ride quality and wondering why anyone driving an SUV would want to go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds or less. Step on it, and this thing moves. It takes off instantly, the power delivery is instant, there isn't much lag, and it isn't as fast as the Germans, but it will tickle that JDM lover that only buys Japanese luxury vehicles. And in terms of handling, it's honestly not that much different from the RX 350 that I drove about 3 months ago. It's good, but it's not like, oh my god, performance handling. Now, if you do want some more performance, you can add on the adaptive variable suspension and the dynamic rear steering, but I don't think either of those will make that much of a difference to your daily drive. Just be happy that you have a solid amount of power and this exciting copper crest color that will make people look at you twice. That said, let's talk about the exterior design. Now, ever since the 2023 RX made its debut, the design has been somewhat controversial. A lot of people aren't really feeling the front end, which now has what Lexus calls a spindle body instead of a spindle grille, mainly because the grille and the hood blend into each other. Personally, I'm not against it. I think by now I've gotten used to giant grills, especially from Lexus. I guess the designers were thinking how they can make the grille even larger and more in your face, and they figured, why not just blend it into the actual body? Yeah, grills are getting out of control, and that's just the reality that we live in. Now from the back, I think the new RX looks awesome. It looks very much like the NX with a long LED taillight that spans the width of the rear end. And of course, you've got Lexus spelled out instead of a Lexus badge. But yeah, I think it looks really sleek and very elegant from the back. And when it comes to the wheels, you're working with 21-inch matte black wheels here on my test model, and I think they look super, super fresh. These are one of the nicest Lexus wheels that I've seen. But yeah, I think if you park the RX 500h next to the Acura MDX Type S, I think this stands out a little bit more. By the way, the LED headlamps are standard on all RX models, but you can upgrade to the triple beam Lyrical Dream headlamps, which I think should have been standard here on the top range model. For example, the upgraded headlamps will cost you an extra $1,565. A 360-degree camera will cost you an extra $800. Heated and ventilated rear seats will cost you an extra $680, and the upgraded Mark & Levinson sound system will cost you an extra $2,265. Is it just me, or does Lexus have the tendency to go all a la carte on their menu of options like Porsche? I mean, this range-topping RX 500h starts at around $63,000, but if you tack on a few options, you can be north of $70,000. Yeah, I feel like some of those things should have been standard on the range-topping model. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. That said, let's talk about this interior. As you would expect, it's everything that you know and love about Lexus. It's all about comfort, quality, and simplicity. But like most cars these days, you have less buttons and more touchscreen areas. Now personally, I'm a fan of having the climate controls still being physical, but I do like the way that Lexus separated them out here on this massive touchscreen, and they are always there. Speaking of the touchscreen, this is probably the most significant highlight for the new RX. You get this massive 14.1-inch touchscreen display with the new infotainment system that we've seen on the new NX, the new LX, and it's similar to the one you see in Toyotas. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as standard. However, if you want navigation, you're going to have to pay a monthly subscription for it, just like everything else in your life these days. As for the gauge cluster, it's all digital, but nothing really exciting happens unless you change drive modes. You don't have a full screen map view or any crazy graphics like that. And then driver assist tech-wise, you've got all the assist and mitigation and sensors that you'll need. You have adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist and lane tracing assist, meaning this will keep itself centered in the lane. Again, a 360-degree camera is optional, and if you want this thing to automatically park itself because you're lazy, that will be an extra $250. By the way, I still don't understand why Lexus does this circle around camera view. I don't get it. You don't really see anything on your surrounding left or right. It's just showing your car circling around. It's really weird. That said, one of my favorite features on the new RX and the NX are these two touch capacitive dials that you have on the steering wheel. You can go through and customize them and add shortcuts to your most frequently used settings. And as you move your fingers around on these touch capacitive buttons, you'll see a display in the heads-up display or your gauge cluster. For example, I can increase and decrease the temperature and adjust the fan speed from this left dial. And from the right dial, I can go through and adjust my drive modes, and I can do all that without ever taking my hands off of the steering wheel. That is super convenient and very underrated. I've been driving this around for a week and I've definitely gotten used to it, and I think it's going to be a little bit hard to go back to my car. But yeah, the rest of the interior in terms of comfort and convenience, it's a really, really nice place to be. The 500h F Sport Performance obviously gets F Sport bucket seats that are supportive and comfortable at the same time. The front seats are heated and cooled, or ventilated, because I get killed in the comments if I say cooled, and that's standard, and you also have a heated steering wheel. Again, if you want some heating and ventilation action in the back and the rear seats, that's optional. Now, one thing that I did find a bit interesting is that the RX doesn't offer massaging seats. I know those massaging seats aren't going to fix any back pains, but still, having massaging seats in a luxury vehicle, I feel like, is a must now. I think the Acura MDX Type S is the first Acura to actually offer massaging seats, so I felt like this should have it too. Oh, and by the way, if you want a panoramic sunroof like this one here, that will be an extra $800. There goes the whole a la carte menu again. So yeah, design-wise, the interior is pretty JDM luxury, and quality-wise, it's everything that you would expect from Lexus. All right, so before I give you my final thoughts on the RX 500h F Sport Performance, let me point out a few important daily ownership highlights that I'll have to show all of you, starting off with the second row legroom. You have 37.4 inches of legroom back here. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, I have a good amount of room. This is about 0.6 inches less than the outgoing model, so not that much of a difference. Let's check out the cargo capacity. Now, Lexus says that the tailgate opens 3 seconds quicker than on the outgoing model. Let's take a look. definitely feels like it. You have 29.6 cubic feet behind the second row, and with the second row folded, you have 46 cubic feet, so it's pretty spacious. Here are what the keys look like. Same old Lexus key, not that much different. Door close sound from the outside, and the inside, solid. Charging game-wise, you're working with quite a bit. In the front, you have two USB-C ports right there, a USB-C port right down there, a USB-A port, and a wireless charger right here. In the back, you have two USB-C ports. And of course, let's do an indicator and horn sound test. Indicator first. Nice. Now for the horn sound. That's solid for sure. All right, so the Lexus RX 500h F Sport, blah, blah, blah. Should you consider buying it? Well, if you want to be 1.3 seconds quicker than the RX 350, yeah, go for it. Personally, I don't think the performance part here is all that crazy inspiring. It's definitely more fun to drive than the RX 350 for sure, but it's not like you're topping 400 horsepower and it's not giving you a strong exhaust system. I would love to have this with a nice exhaust sound, but I can't because it's a hybrid and it still wants to save some trees. And interestingly enough, the RX F Performance 5 whatever hybrid gets better fuel economy than the RX 350. The 500h will give you 27 miles per gallon combined, while the RX 350 will give you 24 miles per gallon combined. I need my performance SUV to have worse fuel economy, not better. I'm over here averaging about 21 miles per gallon, which isn't that bad, although I did notice that on a full tank of its 17.7 gallon tank, this gets right under 300 miles of range. So next time you go and complain about an EV not hitting 300 miles on a full charge, just remember that there are non-EVs that do the same. That said, the Lexus RX is actually responsible for creating the crossover segment. It's still one of the most popular luxury family haulers, and I think it will continue to succeed and continue to take up parking spots at your local Costco. It still carries the crown for quality, luxury, and comfort, and at the end of the day, that's what most people want from their daily driver. And sometimes, just sometimes, they want a little bit of F-Sport performance all-wheel drive. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. By the way, this doesn't have a loud exhaust, understandable on the outside, but there is a lot of fake engine noise being pumped into the cabin. I don't know if you can hear it. The downshift. It is very, very prevalent. I'm getting denied downshifts, but you know, whatever. It's there. It's strong. And I couldn't find a way to turn it off.